that little foraging toy there. It's got little pieces of broken up freeze-dried fruit. Takes him about, I don't know, maybe 15 minutes to get it all out, but he has to roll it to get all the pieces out. And it's like 15 minutes of entertainment, huh, Petey? Nico's still in the sunroom. I just brought Petey in here this afternoon. It's actually time for their nap, but I wanted to let Petey have his little playtime here. And the reason why I don't have Nico in here is because that's really too much fruit for Nico. He's too little. And it's actually something that Petey doesn't get all the time, but it's kind of a special treat that I do for him, every once in a while. And I just filled up that foraging bowl. I think he just realized I put a new thing in there. But anyways, yeah, Nico is still too little to have that much fruit. And really, it's not that much. It's maybe, I don't know, the equivalent of 4 or 5 pieces of freeze-dried fruit that I broke up into little itty-bitty chunks. But it's still a lot for a little 3-pound monkey, because that's what Nico weighs, is 3 pounds. But I might let him try one of these little foraging toy pretty soon. I might put some other stuff in there. There's not a whole lot you can put in that, because it's actually one of those dog foraging toys for kibble. So there's not a whole lot of things you can put in there that would come out easily. So I'm kind of limited with what can go in it. I think Petey keeps looking over to the other living room where the sunroom is, wondering where Nico is. But then he's like, that's okay, I got my fruit. Yeah, I'm pretty careful with how much fruit I give them, because monkeys are, especially monkeys in captivity, are highly prone to diabetes. And I read a lot of studies, a lot of research studies done by the government and universities. And lately I was reading a couple of different studies that was done, and specifically on the vervet species of monkeys. And they are one of the species that can develop diabetes spontaneously, even on a low-fat diet. So I am so paranoid, because I mean, not only would I not want to see them have to suffer with living with diabetes, but I don't want to have to try to give injections on a daily basis to a monkey. That is not something I want to do. I know they can be trained to accept injections, because I watch all those zoo shows on the National Geographic channel on TV, and they train all sorts of animals to take injections willingly and that type of thing. So I know it can be done, but I don't really think I want to try messing with that. If I have to, I will, but if I can avoid it, that's definitely what I want to do. But so I'm pretty careful with what I feed them and how much fruit they get. And like Petey only gets 1 grape a day, because he loves his grapes, but he only gets 1 grape a day unless it's bath day. And then he gets 3 grapes, because when I dry him off, he doesn't like to be dried off for some reason. I finally got him where he takes his showers really good. I mean, he just does really good with it. He doesn't fight me on it or anything. He does really, really super good. But he doesn't really like to be dried off. I did get a towel warmer, so now I put their towels in the warmer before their bath, so they have a nice warm towel, and that seems to help too. But it also helps. Oh, he's got to stop and take a look at himself in the mirror. But it also helps if I have a couple grapes in there for him. He eats his grapes while I dry him off. It's almost like he doesn't care what I do to him if he's got grapes. So anyway, and then Nico only gets a half a grape like every 2 or 3 days, maybe a full grape, but I try to just limit it to just a half a grape because he's still so tiny. Another interesting fact on their diet that you may not be aware of, because I wasn't either until, well, I don't know, I started reading all these studies a couple years ago, but last year I was reading a study that was done on the vervet species, and they are one of the few species of monkeys that can naturally develop hypertension. So I also watch their sodium intake. So not only do I watch their sugar intake, but their sodium intake needs to be monitored as well. So that's why, like, their sunflower seeds and their pumpkin seeds, all that's salt-free. I get those without salt. And then their popcorn is salt-free. And so any of the treats I give them, I closely look at the sugar content and the sodium content. Is that good, Petey? Like, I like it. That's some good stuff, huh? What a good boy. And I usually separate them a couple of times through the day anyway for just a short period. Like when I bring Petey in here in the afternoons, I always bring Petey first, and I'll spend a little bit of time in here with him. And then I go into the sunroom to get Nico, but I spend a little bit of time in there with him before I bring him out. So it gets us a little alone time together, and it gives them a time to kind of be separate. And I had started that way back when I had Kiara, because I had noticed that it's almost like Petey would get on her nerves. And if I would separate them a couple of times a day for just a short period of time, 15 minutes or so, it just made a world of difference. And I've noticed it kind of does the same with Nico and Petey, because sometimes I think Nico gets on Petey's nerves. So I separate them, and then at night, they're usually separated for about 30 minutes or so, because I get Petey ready for bed first, and then I put him in my bedroom, and then I go get Nico ready for bed, and I bring him back in the living room here, and then I go take my shower. And then I come get then I come get Nico and bring him into the bedroom. So they're separated for about a good 30 minutes every evening. And then when I bring Nico in there and take Petey out of the enclosure that's in my bedroom, and then they act like they haven't seen each other in months. I mean, they're so lovey to each other. But if I don't separate them, then they kind of bicker amongst each other at night when we go to bed, I noticed. So that's what I do, and it works out really, really good. I don't separate them for a long period of time, but just a short period of time. And during those separations, I'm usually spending time with, one of them, except for when I'm taking my shower. But yeah, so anyways, that seems to be going pretty good. It's just little itty-bitty pieces, but it's enough to keep him entertained for a little bit. So I don't have the best. I'm getting his back there. You're not really getting to see him very well. Good 15 minutes entertainment, huh, there, Petey? And then he goes around and gets all the little crumbs that fell out. I need to come around this way. Oh, shoot. I knew I'd kind of spook him. Did I spook you a little bit? I'm sorry. I just kind of wanted to come over here and get you better on film. Yeah. We have to stop and look at ourselves. You have to look at yourself. Your pretty little self, huh? You're a good boy, Petey. Life is good. I got some fruit and a mirror. Life is good. Nope, he's going to take it up there. You're not going to be able to roll it around up there. Oh, I guess you can. I'm not going to be able to get it on film. I'm going to try to come over here, but he'll probably move. Like, what are you doing over here? You dropped it on the floor. Time for some veggies. Alright, I suppose I need to go get the Nico. There is still a little bit of fruit left in that, but not very much, so if Nico gets any of it, it's not going to hurt him. It's not that much left in there. And chances are, by the time I get back in here with Nico, Petey will have the last few bits out of it anyway. What a good boy. What a good boy, Petey. Got you a carrot, huh? There's not a whole lot left in there. Just a few pieces, I think. Oh, you found one. Alright, I'm gonna go get Nico and bring him in here so he can get him some veggies. It's their nap time.